Hey guys, my name is Tiffany and welcome to my channel Foxey Sunrise. Tonight we're doing just a quick energetic read on our energies, and I'm going to pull a couple cards from this new deck that I got. Sexiest deck you'll ever see, the Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills card deck. Super practical. I pulled some cards right after I bought them and they made me really smile, so hopefully they'll do the same for you. So we have 4 groups today. This is group 1. Group 2. Group 3. And group 4. It says fearless, but the camera's not catching it. So pick as many groups as you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with group number 1. Okay, group number 1. You chose this dried flower. This is your energy read, your energetic check-in. Okay. Let's see. Turn this music up a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, all the timestamps are going to be in the description box down below. And I don't think I'm using tarot tonight. I think I'm just going to do oracle cards. That's just kind of how I'm feeling tonight. So, alright. Curiosity. Conscious eating nourishes me. In reverse. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. We have amplify your positive emotions. Number 7. Sisterhood, friendship, allies, compatible souls, loyalty, joy, and delight. Atonement. Number 31. Interesting. I'll probably read that card. Let's see. I'm going to read number 31, Atonement. Stage depression, moon phase, waning gibbous. Accepting the full burden of responsibility, the fair as well as the unfair with no discount. A woman with long, wet hair stares at the haze of a rising sun. Her top is naked, but we can see only her back. Many swords pierce her body, but no blood is shed. She opens her arms and droplets of water fall from her hands. Accepting pain is a way to survive the pain. Not all things burn, but some should. Atonement is about paying the bills, unadulterated, unfiltered, not negotiated. It is about full and open acceptance of consequences and a little more. It is also about paying for the price of others, letting go of all ifs and buts, and taking it all in, whether it's ours to take or another's to shoulder. If you have a piece of what puts you at fault, normally you would try to separate it and weight it evenly with what makes the other at fault and with what you made it right. A little for a little, but rarely doesn't move anything forward. Sometimes we need a clean slate, and it's done by going through it all, paying more than is due to create closure for yourself, for others. You take the dark in so that others can stay in the light, even if they don't deserve it, even if you don't deserve it. What's interesting is this page falls onto the page number 44. And another thing I'm recognizing is how this room of curiosity is dark, but the door that's open lets the light in. So, there may be a need to shadow work, and this was in reverse. And the atonement that I'm feeling from this pile is a forgiveness of any betrayals that you have had from the sisterhood in reverse, a betrayal from people who seemed to be loyal and were not. Paying attention to the way that you're feeding your body and how this lack of atonement, or in some way this feeling of atonement, this need to atone for whatever loss has come from this energy that you're in. Being curious of what is subconsciously driving you to make the food choices, to make certain decisions on how you take care of your body, on how you acknowledge your emotions, on how you understand the ebb and flow of how your emotions wax and wane. To allow yourself to be childlike and sort of controlling this frequency instead of being taken over by it, this frequency of change. It feels like a change in the dark. It feels as though there's a lot of backstabbing, a lot of betrayal, a lot of pain from certain relationships that have sort of become a domino effect in your life. And it's cause and effect of neglecting your emotions, pushing them to the side, or maybe misunderstanding why you might be feeling low at this time. And it is due to needing to embrace this curiosity into the dark, into the realm of the shadow, and understanding the importance in it, understanding why you were in these false relationships, understanding why possibly it's hard to keep certain friendships and relationships, why you maybe nourish yourself unconsciously in toxic relationships, and this conscious eating nourishes me could be in reverse because there's an unconscious eating of toxicity, whether it's actual food or the food of others, whether it be their words, their actions, the way that they treat you, and allowing this toxicity to be a part of the meal of life, and then that bleeding into you disowning, numbing, unattaching to the beauty of the waxing and waning of your emotions. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. But if you are full of toxicity, if you are disconnected, if you haven't forgiven and acknowledged these swords that are in your back and release them and let them go, loving in a detached way, unconditionally loving the people in your life who have hurt you and have given you the lessons that you can take with you today, right now in this moment, and moving on from them and healing from them, and acknowledging that now you rightfully deserve to be curious and look into this aspect of your life, the relationships that you entertained, the incompatible souls that were moving in and out of your energetic field, the toxic eating habits, the toxic information, the toxic relationships that you may have entertained, and also becoming curious of your emotions and how they operate, and when your mood is high and when it's low, and the way that it ebbs and flows, and becoming curious like this child. Look at how this little being is just curiously, intently focusing in on these ripples in the water, and how the action it took by stepping into this water, this body of water, and seeing the result of the action it took, the cause and effect, paying attention to this cause and effect, being aware of the effect that it has from an action step, but also amplifying the positive energies. And what I also noticed from this card is that this beautiful fairy being is alone, discovering its own way, its own energy, and how it affects the world around itself. And I say it because I can't really tell if it's boy or girl, but this fairy is very present with its effect within the world. And the world in this example is this body of water. So becoming curious of how your energy affects others, and also how it can positively affect yourself. So I just want to draw some astrological cards to see if anything comes out. Before we get to the sexiest deck of all, the moon, okay? Virgo, interesting. I know that Venus is in Virgo. We have Leo also at the bottom of the deck. So you may be a Leo moon, you may be a Virgo moon, or there may be a transit affecting one of your signs being Leo. I want to just mention that you may be a fixed sign. It's beautiful too that we have this flower here that matched the flower that was on top of the pile, so you definitely may be a Leo, and Leos are very loving and they're very loyal, and not everybody deserves that loyalty. And even if you aren't a Leo, you may resonate with some of these characteristics of being loyal. And Virgo too is very, very loyal and loving and nurturing and very serving of a person. Another thing that I am noticing from both of these cards is, and also the moon, is that these are feminine representations. So we have a feminine representation here, as well as with Virgo, looking very just ethereal and sensitive and just so cute with her lilies, white lilies in her hair of just pure innocence and just love. And then we have Luna in reverse, which can kind of match with my emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. That can connect in the sense that they're both in reverse, and so there may be a neglecting of the emotions and a needing to sort of delve into that aspect of your being and really owning up to how you feel, even if it hurts. And sometimes I know that sometimes, and it sounds kind of crappy to say, that it can be embarrassing to admit that something really hurt you and that something really bummed you out, but there's a power that I want to say that I'm seeing in the representation of this Leo and Virgo archetype. There's a power that can be said in the way that these women are presented in these cards. And yeah, there's also a major emphasis on the feminine too, with Luna and sisterhood. So maybe bringing that curiosity into your relationship with other women and delving into that there may be a connection there. There may be some pain with your relationship with women. So yeah, okay, let's dig into these cards. Take this one. Distress tolerance. Take a rest. Use the rest strategy before reacting to any stressful situation. Relax, evaluate, set an intention, and then take action. The hardest part of changing unhealthy habits is remembering what you want to do when you feel overwhelmed. Rest helps you pause, think, decide, and then act mindfully. Try it today. Number 11. What a good number. Okay, I'm hearing to take a card from the bottom, and that should be the last. Another distress tolerance card, so you may be feeling... I get the image of like an electrocuted cat. That sounds weird, but like just frayed and fried. Wow, take time out. Number 8. Everyone deserves a break from the hectic pace of life. Today, take a time out to relax, even if it's just a few minutes. Go for a walk, go someplace special, make time to take care of your health, or if necessary, focus on your own needs instead of everyone else's. So going with the I guess, stereotypical feminine archetype is the idea of neglecting yourself, your emotions, your needs, your health, what you should be eating, not even allowing time to really delve into this emotional side and play and dig into what your emotions and your energetic makeup is, and being that feminine figure in people's lives that gives and gives and gives, but not taking the time out to allow yourself to receive from yourself and from others. So we have 2 cards that say take a rest. And what a year it's been. And don't feel ashamed to sleep in a little longer, to eat seconds of your favorite meal or any of those wonderful indulgent things. So group 1, that is your reading. Comment down below and let me know what stuck out to you, and I hope you'll come back and chill with me next time. Group 2. I always love doing that. If you chose this beautiful white feather, this is your reading. Okay. Escape. Creativity. I welcome clear vision and inspired action in reverse. Freedom, upright. I'm laughing because we have escape upright and freedom upright, but creativity and the clear vision in reverse. And for some reason I'm getting this feeling that, and it's interesting that we have the feather, which makes me think of birds and flying away and angelic energy and purity and mostly just having wings. And we have wings represented here too, which is crazy. So you may be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or you may have significant air placement, but I'm getting this feeling of escaping, like an impulsive escape, like more of like an escape in the mind, or like drug abuse or drinking a lot, versus feeling this escape and freedom through clear vision. And I only say that because the clear vision card is in reverse. And almost using your creative energy, which is your sexual drive, your just Martian energy, the energy that moves you forward, is also in reverse. So possibly using the energy in a non-productive way, if you will. Black flower fragrance and shift your energy in reverse. That's crazy. Yeah, so definitely possibly in this place of, I'm just seeing like almost like a thread being frayed at the end, and like being fried or frazzled. And I also see it as like scattering your energy in a way where it's not focused or driven, and it's being put into a lot of places. So I'm getting like Gemini moon, maybe even Aquarius moon. I'm gonna go ahead and read this black fragrance card. Number 16. Stage is anger. I get that from the freedom card, so total Aquarian energy. I'm gonna move a little closer. Lovely. Moon phase is full. The world is unfair. Fuck off, dear world. Fuck off. Wow. So angsty. A beautiful woman, her face with a hint of resolve, holds a strange black rose on her chest. It seems to explode like a crystal, each petal an obsidian shard. If we want to go dark, go black. Don't stop the evening, but embrace the night. This hardcore gives me like escapism tendencies, so I'm getting Piscean energy. Piscean in the shadow sense of not using your creativity for service or for sharing with others, but for almost like a self-destructive tendency, or drinking heavily, or even just overindulgence, binging on media of some sort. Love is not a white dove, nor it turns people into angels. Love can be ugly, love can be cheap, love can be rotten, but even ugly love has a right to exist. Even cheap love can raise to the sky. Even rotten love has the dignity of eternity. Even a black rose by any other name should still smell as sweet. The song playing right now is way too numb. This is... Are you numbing yourself? Is that where you're at right now? Where you're numbing yourself and it's blocking your creativity and your clear vision, and you don't feel that inspired action because you just so desperately want to be free. And your energy is upside down, out of sorts, scattered. Are you burnt out? Are you frayed at the seams? Number 16 adds up to 7, which I believe is the Justice card in the tarot, which is all about balance. Are you feeling imbalanced? Even if you are wrong, you still have the right to be angry. Even if you're not perfect, you have the right to be respected. Even if you are stupid, you have the right to be listened to. Even if you are lucky, you have the right to complain. Even if you are rich, you have the right to be sad. If you cannot shine because you are beautiful, then shine even if you are ugly. Shine because you are ugly, gorgeously black, ugly as love, worn out as an angel, cheap as a crown, unconquered as a fragrance in the night. Wow. Wow. I feel like for a second I felt a little choked up. Like there's a lot of pent up energy. Again, with this creative energy in reverse, it's not just I'm not creating, I'm not creative, and the shift your energy in reverse. It's like there's a buildup of energy, and because there's a lack of feeling as though you can express yourself, because there's so much erratic turmoil, Pisces moon, Gemini moon, a lot of chaotic emotional energy that isn't being expressed. It's like the only thing that seems to be upright is this angsty card, this need, desperation for freedom and independence, and almost like pushing people away, and then the need to escape, to relax, to get away. And so it's like a volcano that's ready to erupt. That's how it feels right now. And as chaotic as it sounds, there's so much that can be created from that, whether it's writing, whether it's singing. It needs a way out, a way to be expressed. Screaming. I don't know why I thought of screamo music or like heavy metal music. I really want to learn how to I'm sorry, I feel like such a nerd. I really want to learn how to scream, because it's really exhilarating listening to certain music, and I don't like to listen to it a lot because it brings me back to a weird space. But there's a time and a place for angry music like that, or just feeling like a freaking teenager that wants to flip off everyone in their path. And yeah, I'm just seeing like someone I don't know why I'm seeing like Superman like ripping his shirt open, but it's like the freedom of that, and like ripping through like a barbed wire fence, or ripping through a cage, but it's happening at like the heart space. It's happening at the heart, like right where the flower petals are. Like you're ripping yourself open, and you're exposing what's in there. And it might be dark, and we see here too that she has a skull and crossbones where her chest is. And so even if what you open up there is it's dark and it's scary, like giving it air and space and room to breathe and move around is beautiful. And as long as you're not harming anyone, there's something about it that can inspire someone, and that could be really beautiful. And there's a creative energy that needs to come out. There's a clear vision and inspired action that's within you that can come of this. There is an energy shift that is needing to happen to unclog this energy, this anger, this I'm tired of this angst. Oof, it's like, it's incredible. I'm gonna shuffle some astrological cards to see what comes out for you as far as whatever. Wow, y'all have a lot to share. Maybe you need like an artist's escape. Maybe you need to be around water, or take a rest, a break, somewhere where you feel like you can fly. Maybe, yeah, wow. And I'm just noticing that she has wings too. Wings, and then you chose the feather. Maybe you need to get on a plane or something and go have some kind of like super abstract adventure where you just write poetry. And bottom card, okay, Neptune. Wow, super Piscean. Oh my gosh. Wow, Neptune, funny enough, is in Pisces right now, and it may be a really huge transit for you in your birth chart. If you know anything about your birth chart, you may have oh my goodness, excuse me, excuse that fucking song. Neptune is also in reverse here, so there is a shadow aspect of Neptune, which of course is being confusion, illusion, isolation, depression, sulking, escapism, drug use, alcoholism, disillusionment, mental illness, just to name a few things. But another thing that Neptune can bring is the the invisible realm down into the physical realm through creativity, through, again, clear vision and inspired action, and this Neptunian aspect. And I'm really feeling that there's some Piscean, heavy Piscean energy that is wanting to be expressed. Oh my god, Siri's listening to me. What the what? I didn't even click anything. That's weird. There's a gift, and I'm seeing a gift from the feather. A gift in sharing this Neptunian, Piscean, watery energy of your deep creativity, your ability to express the depths of your soul, whether it be painful and dark or beautiful and infinite and bright. I mean, regardless, it's infinite, and it needs to be seen and expressed, even if it's in your style, the way that you put on your makeup, the way that you say something, if you make up your own words, or just there's something very, very beautiful here that is waiting to be. I'm getting butterflies. There's just like needing to use those wings of yours, and not necessarily in an escapist way, but taking a break, a constructive break, and reevaluating, recentering, this emphasis on the I here, and then there's an I here, your vision. What are you looking at? It needs to be clear. You can't be, drunk and disoriented and trying to focus on something. That's very, very hard. Another thing that's interesting is like rose-colored glasses, and this being a pink, very, very pink card. And so escaping into this illusion, this daydream, can be beautiful, but also dangerous if it's not constructive and helpful. And we can't have lost souls. A lot of the lost souls that we've had, and I'm thinking very heavily of the 27 Club, Janis Joplin and Jim Morrison, and just to name a few, but the beautiful 27 Club of like people who may or may not have been lost souls, but just lost in the sense that they weren't grounded enough, and they weren't here long enough to ground all of the talent. Like it's almost as if the life that they inherited, the beauty, the creativity, the artistry that they had was almost too much for themselves. And so we need people like that, even for a moment in our lives. And so to be lucky enough to even experience what your mind and your imagination has to offer is a gift, and never forget that. So let's look at this this sexy deck, this dialectical behavior therapy skills deck, and see what it has for you. I hope that the ads don't come and ruin the vibe right now, because the vibe just feels really good right now. So oh shoot, too many cards. We have the sun at the bottom of the deck, so you may be a Leo, which is also very creative energy. You may have Leo rising, Leo Venus, Leo moon, Pisces moon, Aquarius moon, I said, Pisces, Venus and Pisces, Pisces sun, Gemini moon, I said, okay, we'll take that one, and we'll take that one. So we have distress skills. Number 3, relax and soothe using scents. Make a list of scents that smell good and help you relax. Then gather some of them to use. Try candles, herbs, flowers, scented oils, perfumes, colognes, food, or whatever else helps. keep some with you when you're not home to help soothe yourself whenever needed. Try one today. I also love how this is the number 3 card, which is the Empress card in the tarot, and this card is very Venusian and talks about harmony and balance, which I feel is very much needed here to be able to ground this very galactic Neptunian energy. And so possibly reminding yourself, grounding yourself in the senses. And Neptune has a lot to do with beauty in a way. It is a higher octave of I think it's a higher octave of Jupiter, but I would also say it's a higher octave of Venus as well. And so Neptune has a lot to do with beauty and artistry and things of that nature. And so allowing your environment to be harmonious and beautiful so that you don't feel the need to disassociate from your present moment, from your body, from your surroundings, and needing as though you need to free yourself of the egoic chains that being a human can impose upon us. So then we have interpersonal effectiveness skills. Did I show the other one? It was a distress tolerance. 45. Know how to make a simple request. Getting your needs met in an appropriate way requires knowing how to make a simple request. Excuse me. First, explain your problem. Then ask your question in a polite way that's not aggressive. Would you mind if? Finally, be appreciative. Thank you. Today, practice in front of a mirror making 3 simple requests. I like the imagery of asking yourself first in the mirror. Makes me think of asking yourself really what you need. And if you feel that another thing with Piscean energy is it's very not subservient, but it's very self-sacrificing and has some martyrism, victimhood that's attached to the more shadowy archetypes. So also, if this resonates with you, being able to really verbalize what you need in those times where you feel that you want to escape and disassociate from your body. And that could be a way of really working against that coping mechanism of avoidance, of escapism. You may be a Pisces rising. I want to throw that out there as well. And since I'm talking about the tarot, 4 and 5 add up to 9 in numerology, which is the Hermit card in the tarot. And the Hermit card is Virgo, which is the polar partner sign of Pisces. And the Hermit talks a lot about self-awareness and the lantern that is a light within the caverns of the shadow aspect of the personality. And so instead of escaping into those shadows in a self-destructive way, allowing yourself to clearly discover it and possibly turn it into art. So I believe that is all for tonight, group 2. Let me know if any of that resonated. Comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I hope you come back again to chill. Okay, group 3, if you chose the Lavender roll-on, which I can't seem to get a clear shot of. For some reason it won't fucking show the shot. Okay, it's fine. It's totally okay. Ugh. Alright. group. Did I not shuffle? Oh my goodness. Ask in reverse. I trust the mystery of life. Wow, that's interesting. That's very fascinating that we have ask in reverse. And I trust the mystery of life in upright. Coral's wisdom. Colony, delicacy, fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. So you could possibly be in this impatience period. I'm getting Aries energy, and needing to know what's going on. 2 and 8 in this card adds up to 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot. And the Wheel of Fortune is always turning. So things are always changing. And the Wheel of Fortune is something that we can't really stop and we have no control of. So I see that in alignment with this asking in reverse. So either you aren't asking or you're needing to like ask a different question or stop asking altogether. I want to read the Coral's Wisdom card because that one's always been a little elusive to me in this deck. There's so much to read. It is said by some, the mermaids shared some precious corals with seamen they loved to protect and bless them against sea storms and drowning. It can banish nightmares and bring us through an emotional crisis by guiding us to calmer shores and clearing muddy waters. We have recommended coral for people with bone issues. It also can increase the very health of your bone marrow and is a boon to women of all ages. They are an ancient living storehouse of memories and wisdoms and collective consciousness of life itself on this planet. Why else would Buddha make coral one of the 7 sacred treasures? For he found it restored his tranquility, serenity, even under the most challenging of circumstances. In your Greek mythology, it is said that the coral was formed from the blood falling from Medusa's severed head, and this is reflected in the Greek name for red coral. Interesting. Your sailors learned from us that preserving the coral could ease the stormy seas. So I'm getting a need to protect the lavender roll-on associated with this group is connected to the planet Mercury, so possibly overthinking and needing to calm the stormy seas within the mind, calming the stormy seas within, and overly asking questions, possibly overthinking, and the constant asking of questions is blocking you from allowing the mystery of life to really move through you and sort of allowing the coral wisdom within to guide you. And another way that this ask card in reverse can be looked at is asking yourself, are you overly reaching into the external world to answer your questions? When you are filled with coral wisdom, when you are constantly guided, we have a raven here. It makes me think of Game of Thrones, the Third Eye Raven, and can't remember that little kid's name, but he had the vision within him. And so I'm getting that this group is possibly clairvoyant, is very psychic, and is not really using their psychic ability to answer these questions that you may have, that may calm this nervousness, this worry of the unknown, if you will. And so it's saying the coral protected and blessed others. So I'm also getting from that possibly cleansing yourself, protective powers, praying for these protective powers. Asking within could also be asking your guides, your ancestors, if you believe in such a thing, for these answers. And we see that this coral is being lit up on this woman's skin, and so I'm seeing that as a representation of the coral within, this inner knowledge. And it's also said in here that coral is a living storehouse of memories, wisdom, and collective consciousness. And if we are in fact a part of this collective consciousness, then you should be able to safely, of course, invoke for protection and guidance. So you aren't just inviting anything to answer your questions, but safely, and doing it with love and light in mind, but realizing that this coral wisdom, this collective consciousness is within you. So you have the ability to ask yourself these questions and receive an answer if you quiet your mind enough. And so I'm getting Virgo energy here because I did mention that lavender is a plant associated with the planet Mercury. Gemini too, but I'm getting more Virgo here because there's more of an anxious energy, a needing to know, an investigative energy. Scorpio energy could be present here too, because of the raven and also mystery of life. Coral as a magical talisman to enhance beauty and to ensure protection has long been used so heavily on protection. So possibly tapping into your spirit team and asking for protection and guidance and to answer any questions that you may have. Yeah. So imagine a color that comes to mind, and I'm going to read off a couple things from the book. Each coral family has a particular quality, and each region has an energetic signature that is unique. To tune into your coral, read the list down below. Blue coral can prevent illness and disease developing. Restores balance to the body, soul, emotions, and spirit. Red coral prevents bleeding, and it's wonderful for the menstrual cycle. And it also heals wounds and makes others stronger. Golden coral, this is rare and beautiful and brings abundance and great fortune. Angel skin coral is a soft pink coral and can be worked with to prevent and ease skin conditions such as psoriasis, eczema, and sensitive skin and eyes. It also prevents sinus issues, acne, and increases and stabilizes liver function. I also get this as a purging from congestion, because all of those, most of those, especially sinus issues and acne, makes me think of congestion within the body. White coral is pure rebirth and transformation, allowing yourself to change and develop once again. Love that is unconditional and kind. White coral can also be used to program and store energies. And lastly, black coral banishes negative energies from your body, your bones in particular. Black coral can assist in banishing diseases and in aiding people with osteoporosis. So I'm getting Capricorn energy as well. I need to control and understand what's happening, instead of allowing, again, the mystery of life, to trust the mystery of life. Okay. Sacrifice and expansion in reverse. So, number one, there could be an inner expansion by you asking yourself, or asking within versus without. And so this inner expansion is causing you to trust the mysteries of life, to see the omens that are around you, to become more mindful and in tune with the earth and the signs and confirmations that the spirit realm is giving to you, to also trust your intuition, your intuitive guidance, and the way that it guides you. I'm going to read this sacrifice card, number 7, beautiful number. Moon phase. Waning gibbous, stage anger. Even if I have to break apart, as long as it serves a purpose. A beautiful female knight wears heavy armor. She holds a blade in front of her, and a blade of light slices across her face, showing the deadly seriousness of her stare, the mirror of her resolve. I have accepted my duty, and in my release I found freedom. Wow. Almost get like accepting your purpose in life versus asking questions, following the guidance that you receive, instead of forcing the expansion and trying to control it. You just allow yourself to be guided along the way, step by step, in the dark, and trust even not knowing what this path even looks like and what this journey will lead to, allowing yourself to continue on. That's beautiful. There is a strong power in sacrifice. Our fears, our hopes, they are all chains to a small world. Our sense of self is a small, petty creature of uncertain resolve and shaky horizons. With sacrifice, we renounce our sense of self. We accept to be lost. Wow. I trust the mystery of life. I trust the darkness of this journey and not knowing, and accepting that I will be caught if I fall. That's beautiful. We accept to be shaken and cut and bruised and hurt and burdened and locked and stricken and despised and gossiped and betrayed and be misunderstood and be left alone to rot, to die, with just words of thanks while the world goes on over our broken dreams. But when we drown our sense of self to sacrifice, we are also a greater person. We are screaming, I exist, I make the difference. We accepted a price to pay, and we used our blood and tears as currency that give us the right to stand tall. Wow. So sacrificing, possibly knowing where you're going, sacrificing what others may think. I'm also getting an emphasis on the coral's wisdom, protecting yourself as you go along this path towards your purpose. And this may be an eccentric purpose, a purpose that is I'm getting like a bullseye. It puts a bullseye on you, and so it puts you in a position where people may judge you, and allowing it to happen and being fearless of it, trusting the mystery of life. There may be a shift in your direction, in your path and purpose, and a purpose is always evolving. It's not a destination, and I'm only saying that to really reemphasize it for myself, but I'm also getting allow yourself to expand. I'm getting that the expansion card in reverse is in reverse because it's hidden. It's like a fear of expanding, a fear of your gifts almost. And understanding that there is a sacrifice for choosing a different direction, a path that is somewhat uncharted. So I'm going to draw some astrological cards to see what comes out. Sagittarius, wow. And then we have Scorpio in the bottom in reverse. So, Sag is fearless. Shoots their arrow at a target. I'm getting the phrase for Sag. I see the goal, I reach the goal, and then I see another. That's the gist of it. And even if you aren't a Sag, sort of embodying that Sagittarius energy and fearlessly moving towards your goal. Another thing with Sag is the planet Jupiter associated with this planet, with the sign Sagittarius. Jupiter and Sagittarius are full of faith, blind faith. And so I'm getting here the need to have blind faith and believe in the serendipity and abundance and beauty and luck that is inherent, and a birthright. Seeing the positive side of life, believing that you're lucky, and sort of cultivating or inheriting, for lack of a better word, inheriting that idea of life and learning, continuing to learn and ask questions, especially questions of yourself, analyzing. Sagittarius is a sign known for higher learning, higher knowledge. It's the cosmic fire sign, and so it takes action, almost inspired action, but it's like guided action, spiritual action, and spiritual in the sense that it moves based on this beautiful gut instinct of just a knowingness, a deep knowingness that it's going to be caught if it takes its leap of faith, and it's even deeper than that, because it's the more mature, the most mature of the fire signs. It knows that it's blessed. It has the cosmic knowledge, the higher knowledge to know the way that the universe works, and to be able to use the beauty, the gifts that are around, the gifts that are at Sagittarius's disposal, to be able to get to its goal and continuing to dream big and bigger and bigger and bigger. And not restricting itself, allowing it. It's funny because we have the expansion card in reverse, allowing yourself to internally expand so that you can externally expand, like the Sagittarius card. And with Scorpio in reverse at the bottom of the deck, Scorpio is so self-aware. And so and it has a lot to do with sacrifice. So I'm getting an internal sacrifice, and this could be just a routine, a ritual of some sort, a spiritual practice, a practice that involves asking questions and becoming more self-aware to be able to expand and to also learn more and more, gain more cosmic knowledge, gain more higher knowledge, to flow with the universe and trust the mysteries of life. And Scorpio and Sag both have a lot of just knowledge. Scorpio has that mystical occult knowledge, and then Sag just has lots of just different information, psychology, philosophy. I can go on and on. So we're gonna go ahead and get some cards. I'm getting the number 2. We're gonna get 2 cards from the Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills deck. New deck that I got, and I think it's so practical and I love it. So 2 cards for our Lavender group number 2. Use that brain for good and not for overthinking. Lavender, our Mercurial group. You may have Mercury in Sag, Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Gemini, or some Virgo placement. Okay, that's number 1, and we'll do that one. We have a mindfulness skill and an interpersonal effectiveness skill. So, 22 and 42, that's cool. Use a beginner's mind. That's just, it makes me think of the Sagittarian curiosity, and also the curiosity of Gemini, if we're talking Mercurial. So, number 22, use beginner's mind. Today, engage with every situation and relationship as if you were seeing it for the first time, without making judgments and without being critical. Instead, be mindful of your actions and observations. Do your best to notice something new that you might have missed in the past. Try it today. That's so awesome. And that kind of aligns a little bit with this internal asking of questions, this internal expansion, and looking at your world with fresh eyes. With, I wouldn't say Sag is childlike, but it's very playful. The fire signs are very playful, and so loosening up a little bit. I don't know why I'm getting Capricorn energy as well, but loosening up a little bit. On top of all the things that I said. We have number 42 for the interpersonal effectiveness skills. Establish valued relationships. Review your values and set positive intentions for each of the important relationships in your life. Then interact with others according to those values and intentions. Also set expectations about how you want to be treated. And establish, and establish clear boundaries to protect yourself if necessary. This fucking song, oh my god. Start today. Sag also has a lot to do with values, in that it can sometimes be connected to religion, and religious dogma and right and wrong, and Sag being sort of dogmatic in that way, and very much like setting boundaries based on its sort of, and it can sometimes be sort of eccentric sets of values, but very like social justice warrior-esque in a sense, but understanding what you believe in. That's a very Jupiterian Sagittarius thing to say. What you believe in. And being flexible with that. And I'm looking, my eyes just went back to the use beginner's mind. So using your beginner's mind as far as analyzing your values and your intentions and the direction that you want to go in your life and the decisions that you ultimately make. Protecting yourself, trusting the mystery of life, and asking the right questions. Internalizing those questions. always being self-aware and indulging in that self-awareness for the good of society and, I mean, yourself. That's kind of heavy, but expansion, ultimately. Expansion is the vibe right now for you. So that was a lot. Group 3. I guess I had a lot to say because freaking Lavender and Mercury. So comment down below. Let me know what you're feeling, how you felt about all of that. And sorry, that's my brother. I was hoping he's been quiet for most of the video, but he's getting really hype right now. But anyway, so I oh my god, I'm blanking. Comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you come back. I hope you come back and chill with me for the next pick a card reading. So yeah, I love you. I don't know. I didn't say that for the other groups, but I love you. Okay. Y'all have a good night. Alright. Last but not least, let's see if it'll show up. Yeah. Fearless. The R is sideways when I made this. I thought it was kind of funny. It's like the R fell on its face and it's like, fuck. And then it gets back up because it's freaking fearless. You know? If you hear any yelling, I'm just gonna warn you now. Like, my brother and I share a wall, and he gets really hyped sometimes on his Twitch. So if you hear any yelling, that's what that is. But I have music in the background, so let's just hope that drowns it out. He's been pretty quiet, so we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. It's been good for the past hour, almost hour and a half. Okay, group 4. Did I say 3? I hope not. I meant 4 if I did say 3. I think I said 3. Alright, we have growth and banish in reverse. Interesting. Collaboration brings more sweetness into my life and into the world. I don't know why I'm feeling solitude really heavy. Just because we have growth and then banish in reverse, and we have the collab card in reverse. So I'm feeling like you're growing in the dark, in solitude, guide, mentor, trustworthy ally. Sanctuary, yeah, that gives me like hermit vibes for sure. Privacy, inviolate personal space, respected boundaries and taboos. Okay. It's so strange that this collaboration card is in reverse. So I'm feeling like the collaboration that's going on is more in the spirit realm because of the guide card. So you're collaborating, you're in solitude, collaborating spiritually, and I'm feeling that this collaboration is both growing you and also cleaning, like sweeping out. I'm getting the banish card in reverse is more of like an internal sweeping of cords that popped up in my head, of cords, and any connections that may distract you from this this solitude growth, this hermited growth. Trust your own understanding. Okay, so I'm seeing that you are being placed alone by yourself to be able to trust your own understanding, and also to be able to hear your guides and mentors on the other side. So you're really, this group, the vibe for this group is really honing in on your intuition and becoming fearless of that. Fearless of your growth, embracing your growing pains. I'm the banish card. I'm getting like a spiritual bath here, taking a bath, using water to cleanse yourself and to ground yourself as well while you're in this growing period. And I'm getting rest, the energy of rest as well from this sanctuary card. So with growth comes growing pains, and as you're learning and expanding, things can get a little bit tiresome, and a lot becomes rewired and readjusted on this spiritual path when you're getting to know your guides, when you're getting to know the spirit realm, when you're banishing and disconnecting cords and healing and cleansing and becoming reacquainted with your intuition, and also pulling back your energy so that you can collaborate with I don't like the word other entities, but that was what came to mind. And I guess not humans. I'm just laughing at the words like popping up in my head right now. I was like, what do I mean by that? And then I just see the phrase not humans. So pulling back from the world, if you will, and quieting. I'm getting like, oof. I hope you can hear the crickets. Let me pause this. Oh, that quiet, like the crickets. That's what I get when I see that sanctuary card. It's like the quieting down so you can really understand the information and the guidance that's coming towards you. Oh wow, that really, like, I feel like my voice changed. Hiding your true self. Wow. Okay. Hiding your true self, number 14. Moon phase, 3rd quarter. Stage, acceptance. Hiding is keeping things inside. Luck of trust becomes lack of hope. Luck of trust becomes lack of hope, so there must be a limit. In the dazzling light, there is a hint of a door, like the door to a Hammond? What? This, I'm sorry. I just want to say, like, this deck, I don't know, I think the, like, authors, the creators aren't, like, English speaking, because sometimes, like, the translation just isn't, like, that's what it says, but I don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, I just want to let y'all know, like, if I'm confused, that's why. Outside, draped in scarlet tunics, stand 2 women, one under the sign of the sun, and the other beneath the sign of the moon. You could be in the mirror, and you can be, I'm so silly. You could be in front of the mirror, or you could hide behind the mirror, yet you choose to be the mirror. You could be in front of the mirror, or you could hide behind the mirror. Yet you choose to be the mirror. Hiding is a survival instinct. Do you want to be honest and truly be yourself? Very few people will accept you then. You are too complicated to be comfortable, too contradictory to be easy, too exceptional to be believed, too plain to be considered. You can be the sun, you can be the moon, you can be the door, you can be the road, you can be the butterfly and the brick. Maybe the question is not if, but when. Sometimes real solitude is when there is not a right moment to be yourself. Wow. And not the right person, and neither the right way. Being yourself is like a moment at the spa. It is a massage for the soul, a purification process that brings in oxygen and turns away age and wear. It is bliss and pleasure. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, I'm seeing it a little bit different now. Only because, okay. So the sanctuary and growth, the guide and the trust your own understanding is so that you, I think in those spaces you can remember your true self and discover your true self. And I'm seeing now that this collaboration brings more sweetness into my life and into the world. And the Banished card being in reverse is almost like shying away from socialization and from connecting with others, and almost being so comfortable in sanctuary. That could be some of you being so comfortable in your solitude with your guides and growing and with your own understanding, that even though in this sanctuary you feel more like yourself than you ever have, because you've stayed in this solitude for so long, in a way you're still hiding yourself. Does that make sense? That hits hard. Whoa. And then for another scenario, it can be that you're being pulled back into sanctuary and the collaborations are being banished, and temporarily. That sounds really dramatic, but the connections are being dwindled down so that you can rediscover the self that you may be hiding, so that you're in the sanctuary and privacy, you're away from other people. And kind of like the description of the card says, it's like solitude is not, what did it say? It's like solitude is not, hold on, I don't want to misspeak. Sometimes real solitude is when there is not a right time to be yourself. So stepping back into solitude for some of you to rediscover who that self is. So for some, it's like pulling back that energy to rediscover it and then go back out into the world. And then for some of you, you've done that. You're past that step. So it really just depends on what phase you are in this energetic makeup and this energy read and this energy check-in. Depends on where you're at. For some of you, you already know who you are, and that's Gucci Mane. Like, it's great. Like, you understand how you are an expanding, beautiful, blossoming cherry blossom. You understand your guides and what they say, and you trust your own understanding, and yet you have yet to leave this solitude. You feel safety in the solitude. So in that way too, you're hiding yourself, just like the person who is too connected to the outside world and is disconnected from their inside world. I hope that makes sense. This is so fracking relatable. I think this might be my group. I don't know. I haven't really picked one, but this one stands out to me. So we're going to shuffle and see if any. Oh, astrology cards come out. Okay, 2. We have Neptune again. Interesting. So we have Pisces. I'm feeling Virgo. Yeah, I only say Virgo because I'm feeling like the Hermit card, like some kind of introverted sign. We have Aries, and we have Mercury in reverse. Wow, okay, yep. So Mercury ruled signs would be Virgo and Gemini, but I'm definitely getting more Virgo. And it's like the Virgo in solitude with this in reverse. And then we have Aries. Aries. So, we have Chiron and Mars in Aries. That's what's going on in the astrological chart right now. So the sign Aries may be, if that those transits may be affecting you in some sort of way. We have Neptune at the bottom of the deck. So Neptune is in Pisces right now, and that could be affecting you in some sort of way and emphasizing this sanctuary or need for solitude, which Pisces and Neptune are associated with both of those things. As well as Virgo being associated with the Hermit card. And Mercury, we were talking about the sun and being the sun and the moon in this this dark mirror card, and Mercury is a sign of duality. It is an androgynous planet. Mercury is the planet of duality, I meant to say. And then we have Aries, which kind of, to be honest, throws me off. The only thing I can think of is the Mars and Chiron transiting somewhere in your chart. But the Aries, for some reason I want to say, coming out of the solitude. Aries being that that planet, I mean, I keep saying planet, that sign that is the start of spring, that is the start of newness, freshness, the blossoming, the beginning of a season. That's like, I'm hearing like, I'm coming out, I want the world to know like who I am, like like coming out of the closet. And I mean that for I just mean I'm like tripping over my words here. I just mean like coming out of the closet of solitude, if you will. Coming out of the closet, the sanctuary, coming out of your bathtub, coming out of your room, coming out of your house, and talking to people, socializing. Because Aries is very direct and playful and flirty and social, and I'm almost getting like, because of this growth card, and it kind of reminds me of spring in this Aries card, it's like your springtime is coming around the corner for some of you. So it's about time, it's coming around the corner, or it's about time for you to come out. And Aries also is who it is. And so hiding your true self doesn't work for Aries. It just doesn't do that. So it's like the springtime for your true self to come out. And so I see that on the horizon for this group number 4. I get so ecstatic, and then I get like a lost breath, and I'm just like, what is going on? And I'm like, okay, so let's see what this sexy deck has for you. The Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills card deck. I'm just so excited about this deck. Oh, I'm such a dork. It's just like the most practical deck that I've ever like seen in my life, but I like it because it's so practical. Okay. 3, 2. Okay. 2 cards for this group. Give me 2 cards for this group. Okay, that one was wanting to pop out. And then 1 more card we got a mindful skills, and the emotion regulation skills. So 23 and 27. Think about a recent, okay, sorry, I I just jumped in there. Starting with the emotion, I feel like it should say emotional regulation skills, but that's just me. 27. Recognize your emotional triggers. Think about a recent upsetting situation. Ask yourself, what happened? How did I feel? What kinds of urges did I have? How did I react? How did my reaction affect me later? Identify as many triggers and impulses as you can and be aware of them in the future. This could be good for coming out of solitude, and this group totally relates. I feel like this is something that I need to hear because I worry about that when it comes to like leaving my house and and socializing with people. And I feel like sometimes when you're in like a spiritual solitude, you feel like you are a person without skin, and you're just like so vulnerable from one perspective, and you feel like you might get like triggered from others, but it doesn't have to be like that. And the point of the spiritual solitude is to become stronger. For some reason, I felt the need to tell myself that, or tell you that. Anyway. Number 23 for the mindfulness skills. Make mindful statements. Be mindful when speaking. Avoid judging and blaming people. Also avoid making you statements, which make others feel defensive and emotionally closed off. Instead, use I statements. For example, rather than saying, you make me mad, say, I feel mad. Communicating this way increases your chances of being heard and understood. I also think that communicating this way puts power into your hands, and you're taking ownership of your emotions and your actions. And this could help with the emotional regulation skill that was mentioned earlier, in that it makes you feel more powerful and stronger. So you're paying attention to these emotional triggers when you go back out into the public, and you're taking ownership of those triggers by saying like, dude, I'm not comfortable with that stuff that you're doing right now. Like, don't do that, please. Or I don't be fearless. Communicate fearlessly. Step out into the world. Step out into the world fearlessly. My group number 4s. Don't be scared of the public. Yeah. I think that was a weird ending to that. So yeah, group 4, I guess that is all that I have for you tonight. So definitely comment down below. It's been like almost 2 hours. I think I'm just feeling a little loopy. So yeah, that is all, folks. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, if anything hit home for you. Like, share, subscribe, and come back and chill with me. Alright, I love you. Bye.